You hear my coffee's ready?
I hear it.
Okay. And correction! It's Miz Cracker, and it's time for Review with a Jew! RuPaul's Drag Race Season 10 episode, The Reunion, honey. If you didn't get a breath in on the show, then now is your time to shine and prove to everyone that you can Aja your way into All-Stars. Honestly, I was like sleeping through the first 10 minutes. RuPaul makes a point of talking to Miss Vanjie about how she became a household name. I don't want to hear the good news, I want to hear the bad stuff. Behind the scenes, it took us a little while to start filming the reunion. These bitches have been in drag for an hour and a half waiting around for everything to get started. And then the whole process is gonna take 8 or 9 hours! A full union workday. If you want to play a fun drinking game, take a shot every time you see a queen desperately adjusting a heel or a corset. And just before we walk on set, I noticed something. Shh! Oh, 4th of July. Dusty Ray Bottom. What?
It's literally June 20th. 4th of July.
Yeah, it's coming.
That's a motorcycle.
It's not a motorcycle, there's fireworks.
That's a motorcycle.
You don't think
That is a motorcycle.
You don't think that people in Kentucky are shooting off fireworks in practice right now?
Maybe, but that was a motorcycle.
Oh, Jesus Christ. My favorite part of the day was that before the filming started, there was a giant TV screen just over there, and I could see how pretty I looked. She's a woman! The whole point of the reunion for me was just to show people that I could be on TV without having a mental breakdown, and that my makeup looks great now. So fuck you, Ms. Crumbs. I do blend my jawline now, and I have some of my own puns, thank you very much. Last season you said I fake my way to the middle. Well, now I fake my way to the bank, bitch. How about that? Eat it! It's time to talk about some of the lip syncs from season 10. Nicki Minaj versus Kris Jenner. We talked to Monique about, girl, why did you lose your wig? And luckily I say, Ru, you know, it happens to the best of us. Stay tuned for why I'm very glad I said that. Me and Cameron. For me, this moment seemed to be like Ru trying to convince me that I should have done something different. This scene was cut a little short, but Ru and I did a lot of back and forth, and she's like, don't you wish that you had? No, I don't. But don't you? But no, I don't. Are you sure? I'm sure. Is there something on my face? If my memory serves me correctly, Dusty was having a little problem with her microphone. That's why in the beginning of the episodes when she talks, you can hear a little like in her voice.
So mad.
What?
I looked out the window and there were fireworks.
Ne'er again will she question Cracker. The hearing in my left ear is impeccable. Lisa Left Ear Lopez. George Lopez, who you love. Right? Underrated. Same, George. Anyway, in short, we're like, zoop! 1/8 of the way through the episode, Team Vixen. One of the things that I really miss from the season is how much of a genuine friendship Vixen and Blair and I have shared. When Blair was talking about how she is trying to maintain sobriety, I was like, girl, thank you so much for being honest with me about that over the phone, because I also am trying to be completely sober, and when I watch you fumble around with it, I feel like I have more strength to fumble around with it myself. And then when Ru talked to Vixen about her propensity for starting a fight, I told Ru that I was grateful for Vixen's presence. Yes, maybe Aquaria and I could have had our conversation about makeup plagiarism in a different setting and in a different tone. But if it hadn't been for Vixen's loud mouth, we may never have talked about it at all. It needed to happen, period. I've looked at it and I've learned that it's better to err on the side of being abso-fucking-lutely clear with people than to have to constantly go back and say like, well, I also feel this and I also feel that and I should have said that and I meant to say this and I wanted to say that. Day one, just be like, listen bitch, if you have ever spent a day with the Vixen, you know that she is one of the sweetest, doe-eyed queens. I'm gonna say this about 40 different times. If you like me, support her. RuPaul v. everybody in the room. This was such a hard conversation to have. The queens in the room felt one way, RuPaul felt a completely different way. In reality, this conversation took, I would say, at least 2 hours of our time. Vixen wanted to do something she had never done before, which is just step out of the spotlight. She could sense that we just were not getting anywhere, and that was her solution. Everyone in the room was kind of taking up for Vixen a little bit. It was an amazing moment because every single queen in that room owes their career and their visibility to RuPaul. And RuPaul has by far more wisdom and experience than any of the girls in the room. But that didn't stop either party from doing their best to make themselves heard. I was so glad that the show let America see RuPaul's emotion. She was not having it. And they let America see our emotion too, specifically Asia's. We took a little break at this point. You can only sit on your nuts for so long. In the reunion episode, Asia says she should have gone after Vixen, and she put her money where her mouth was. She ran to find Vixen and see if she could bring her back into the fold. I tried to join. If I recall correctly, Asia's argument was essentially, what you have to say deserves to be heard. And this is what I said. Listen, you are my friend, and at the end of the day, if you're not sitting in that chair, I am going to miss you. Monet tried her hand at it. Mayhem tried her hand at it. Blair was looking for her. Vixen had truly made up her mind. It's not like she had just gotten out of drag. It's like if you were to look at her, you would never even guess that she did drag. The bitch had put a makeup wipe all over her entire history. She was a new man at that point, and there was no bringing her home. One drawback to speaking very forcefully, I noticed that my 900 pounds of hair were beginning to try to run away. You can see me holding my hand to my forehead like I have a migraine. It's not a migraine, bitch. My bitch. My wig is trying to run away from me! I'm feeling very Monique in this moment. Thank God I did not mock Monique for losing her wig, because girl, I'm about to lose mine. I have my hand in the back of my head like, oh God, here it goes. At some point I'm like, okay, all right, stop the thing, stop the whole show, stop everything. We need to stop because my hair is gonna, and my whole wig just pulled the fuck off my head. She was like this.
No.
I was like, snatch, okay, all right, we gotta go. It is my fault. I should have anchored her more securely. I was cocky, because I love myself.
You and Asia.
Me and Asia. Asia and I have been through, let's say, a journey together. Since Asia heard my name, I think she was kind of like, who is this bitch? So I kind of wanted to know who that bitch was. And every day it was a different thing. We liked each other, we didn't like each other, and after the drama of the final episodes, it stayed exactly the same. Let's make peace. Okay, wait, what did you say? Okay. No, let's make peace again. Wait, what? This was the time to finally put an end to it all. This is what I had planned. I was watching Cardi B yell at literally Asia on television. What was the reason, bitch? What was the reason? I was so excited to say exactly that during the reunion, but then I was like, what's the note that I've always gotten? Don't overproduce the moment. Let me just let go of the rehearsed lines and say what's on my mind. Asia, you hurt me. I realized that's all I had to say. So there was this huge pause, and Monique was like, girl, say what you have to say. You saw how I talked to Asia about my feelings of always being second best, and how I used her words to beat myself up. And Ru stepped in and said, no one can ever hurt you unless you let them. I was like, I know. That's what I'm saying. Pretty much taking full responsibility here. Somebody said something. They said it in front of America, and I used it to hurt myself. I will try never to do it again, but I have to say I don't regret being hurt, because I think that my weaknesses and my flaws and my self-consciousness, they are also strengths. When I was struggling with those demons, I was being someone that was relatable to everyone watching me. Weakness is not bad. It's human. But there was just one thing that was left out that I wanted to add. I told Asia right then, I have said a number of things that I regret saying. This right now is me apologizing to you. So let it be absolutely clear now. For the second time in this episode, I will say, without mincing words, that if you say you love me, you absolutely have to support her. When everyone started picking at Cameron, I was kind of surprised. I didn't know that Cameron had an entire other side. That's right, pleased to meet her. She still hasn't told me her name. Yes, she believes in mystery. Yes, she wants to play that game. The episode wraps up with Ru asking another one of his inflammatory questions. Who do you think is America's next superstar? I was shocked to hear that there was a big mix of opinions. Almost every girl in the top 4 had a fair share of supporters, except Cameron. Awkward! Yes, Cameron struggled the house down galoshes, but she also proved time again that she can be funny, that she can rule the runway. Her feathers look is one of the most beloved of the season. And most of all, that you just cannot knock the bitch down. Just because you heard some opinions from that room, that does not mean you should rule Cameron out as a reigning queen. So these are my huge questions for season 10. Who will take home the crown? Who will take home the prize for Miss Congeniality? I believe they said the deadline for voting was June 7th, and then mysteriously, the whole thing came to a grinding halt about 24 hours after the polling opened. Was it the Russians? Damn you, Katya! The biggest mystery of them all. Why is nobody talking about how Dusty Ray Bottoms left the main stage with the words, "Whoops"? Why is no one talking about that? What was that? We were all like, woo, Dusty! What did you say, whoops? Did she say whoops? Whoops! All of the girls for the reunion were asked to prepare a catchphrase like Real Housewives style. For me, mine was, I came here to win. Whoops! I just can't get enough.
Wops.
Yeah. Fuck Vanjie, girl. Wops is the catchword of the season. The byword, the bellwether. I have had such a fun time with you guys. It has been a journey, but now it's over. I do not review finale episodes, but I can promise you this. This finale will go down in history as one of the most epic. Stay tuned. I have some very exciting projects coming up, and I might come back to do season 11 when it airs, like, literally tomorrow. That's it? Is that it? Did we do all the things that we set out to do?
Yeah.
God. Talked about each drama. So everybody, until we meet again, this has been Review with a Jew. It's a mitzvah.